Um, so that concludes our sharing portion of everybody's been so great to be here. I've lost my agenda, and again, I have 50 pounds of cat on my lap. Because clearly mom's sitting down, so let's just all snuggle, right? Yeah, so I do want to talk a little bit about what's coming up next month. And thank you to everyone who that helped to make this such a rich and exciting thing today. You know, there's just just so much good work that you guys do, and so many amazing resources that are out there, and to get to see. I know as a teacher, it was helpful for me to be able to see how people are using it, and then I could visualize how I could use it with my students or what I was already doing. So to be able to share. And being willing to share all that you do is such a gift for everybody. So thank you to everyone truly for making this such a rich and exciting day. It is such a great community. Next month, we do have Hal Aronson coming to present with us, and I will be he sent me a whole packet to put out on for us to look on the Wikio at. It's some of his information about his project. And I'm going to have Claire talk a little bit. Is it Solar Care? Is that right? Is that what one is Solar Care and one is Solar Share?
We share solar and we care solar, and there are two companies that he runs. We care solar. I have to remember I get them the right way around. We care solar is a company that he has that builds self-contained solar suitcases that he brings to hospitals in Africa and other developing countries and installs in places like maternity wards or critical health centers, so as they can continue to treat people through the night, because they generally don't have electricity in these places. And so this is a company that he runs that does this. He then has another company that he's currently trying to rev up. I don't think it's fully running right just now, but it's on its way, called We Share Solar, and it's the educational branch of this. And I think they're hoping to launch a project whereby students in reasonably well-off schools will raise funds to get the pieces to buy the materials to build their own solar suitcase that will then be shipped off to less critical care places, more like orphanages and community centers and things like that, for kids to do their homework at night with electricity, with electrical lights and so on. And that's not necessarily abroad. I think he's looking at also very high need places within the US too. So it's really, I mean, the stories Hal tells will just make your heart sing. They'll realize that the true value and the simplicity in something as vital as electricity and what we take for granted. So I really encourage you all to come back. If not for the educational side of things, he's a solar panel advocate, so he will tell you anything you've ever needed to know about solar panels, but also just for the heartwarming stories that he has to tell about the work that he does with We Care Solar. So he's a great guy. We've been partnering with him at UC Berkeley for a few years now. And he joins us for our Energy from the Sun workshops, and he leads the electronics component. So he teaches you how to build circuits and how to use PV cells and use multimeters and all of that really scary stuff for somebody like me. But he's really great and very charismatic. So I recommend that you all get back on board with us in December if you can. And if you can't come live, then you should definitely check out the YouTube video afterwards.
Yeah, I want to remind everybody that all of these meetings get put on YouTube channel and are available to you at any time, and you don't have to sit through the whole meeting. If you just wanted to hear about when Claire talked about HelioViewer, you can go specific. Ricky does an amazing job of making them very easy to find, very easy to navigate, and he does such a beautiful job of getting those segments in so that the information is packaged however you would like it. So yes, anytime you miss a meeting, don't feel like you can't or it's too much, you don't remember what somebody said, or it went too fast, you can go back and view them anytime. So I put I'm sorry, I have a cat with very sharp claws on my lap. I put the link, the We Care wecaresolar.org, and that was what I was showing you on the screen. And one of the things he wants us to do is to look at the website so that you're familiar with the program and have any questions that you might have. And then he has sent me the promo package. As Claire said, the We Share Solar is not up and running yet. They're getting ready to launch it, and he really would like some feedback from all of you about it. So I have like the marketing flyer to go out with that. And what that program does is that it actually, what I was really excited about as a teacher is that you can purchase the suitcases unassembled, and you can use them as teaching tools on talking about solar cells and how solar energy works, as well as assembling these kits, and then you send them back to him and they go to the places of need that they have. And Claire's right on. Right now he works a lot in places in the world that have zero energy, that are in very, very dire need of it, but he's also looking for places in the United States where that can, that also would be very, very helpful, especially in remote locations and things like this, or towns, cities in crisis and whatnot. But what was really exciting is that, he's hoping that these suitcases can be assembled in schools, be used as educational vehicles to talk about some of these things, as well as he would love to see how students would improve on the suitcases and what they would do differently and how they would do, so it's this whole kind of learning piece, this project that really has exponential value to it. So he is very passionate about what he talks about. He is such we were on the phone for almost an hour because we just had so much excitement talking about what he was doing. So I think it'll be really, really great. If you're not able to attend, we will have the YouTube video up. I don't know what the cost of the suitcases are. I think it is, it's in that material, so I will definitely get that posted on the Wigio right away. One thing that I know that came to my mind was to, I don't know how many schools do this, but I know so many schools that do fundraising opportunities, right, for other causes, or they have a social service component to it, and to be able to raise money to purchase the suitcases, to be able to use those, might be another way to make it exponentially powerful for the students, especially for high school students. But I think the cost is in the flyer. Go ahead.
I'm not even sure that has actually formally been launched yet, but I'm sure that Hal will be able to tell you all that you need to know in December about how much it would cost, what it would involve getting, But I think it's fabulous because not only are you doing a good turn for a community, but your students get to learn incredible hands-on electronics as a result of the whole thing. So it's sort of a win-win if you can raise the funds to buy it in the first place.
How do you feel about inviting students to this meeting?
So one way that we would probably say, we do try to keep this community as an adult community, not because of what we're sharing is inappropriate for students, but it gives you a chance to be able to share it with your students as part of that. And I know that Hal has kits that can be, he's a very, very, very busy man. He's literally, you have to catch him in between international flights. So I don't know how much he does talking to students as well, but it really is an opportunity. So rather than having this, it might be too that you could show them the YouTube channel video from that.
The reason I mention is because I said to them, oh, you're making gifts you take home to give to your family. And they said, well, what about to anyone for charity? Why wouldn't we be making these gifts for giving around Christmas? And so I think that really goes with Hal's idea of helping out the community. And I wonder what he would think about.
What I would do if I were you, Tasha, is I would maybe read up on the We Share Solar website, get an idea of what they're intending, and then you have a discussion with your class about this, and then you can bring the opinion of your class to our next meeting. But I don't think this is really what we're not really aiming towards, bringing students into this. It sort of takes away from the goal of the group altogether. And then what you can do afterwards is, once we have this discussion, you can bring the YouTube video back to your students, and you can play the presentation for them on YouTube, so they can still get that, but we don't have to accommodate them during the actual meeting in that way.
Okay.
Yeah, again, it's not because we don't want them to have the information or think it's inappropriate, but just because of the nature of the community and what we're trying to do here as a professional community. It just might work better and it would be far more interesting for them to be able to have it in their context rather than the adult context as well. So, but no, definitely, that's exactly what he wants you to do. He wants you to share it with your students. And I think once you hear and look at the materials and things like this, it'll make a lot of sense for, and I commend you for having students that are thinking outside of themselves and thinking about how they can be different. So, and that was, I thanks Lindsay for putting that up. The next meeting is the third Tuesday of the month, which is December 16th. And so we will do that. I will get that that PDF up on the video. The website for We Share is not launched. The whole project hasn't launched yet. It's very much in its very formulative places, and that's what he wants to talk to you about and get your feedback as a group of teachers on how to go about that and what your thoughts are and things like that. So it should be a really interesting meeting for sure. So that's what you have to look forward to. And and again, there's that theme here. Tasha shares this whole thing and has, used that website to build what she was doing. And here's the guy himself coming to speak with us next month. It was so fortuitous and serendipitous. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So we're at towards the tail end of our meeting. We have just about a half hour left, and I wanted to take some time to do some reflecting and kind of talk about, have some of the conversations maybe we didn't have time for what we did earlier. One thing was that there will be an evaluation that comes out. We will be sending you a link to a survey to take about the retreat today and how it helped with you. So this is not your only venue to give your feedback in the next few minutes and next half hour or so. But so do look for that. It'll be coming, and your input is greatly appreciated because we do shape these. We do take your feedbacks very seriously. We want this to work. This is for you. It needs to work for you and be interesting to you. So your feedback is very, very important to us to get. And we appreciate you taking a whole day out of your precious weekend during the school year, almost in the busiest time of the year as we head towards the holiday season. And so appreciate you being willing to take time to do this. So I just had some reflection questions at the end of the agenda, and one of them is, what is one thing that really excited you today? You don't have to raise your hands, you can just go.
I want to say using the Helio, but I don't know what is that called again?
The Helio viewer.
Yes, the Helio viewer. That was tops. I'm going to use it next week.
Ditto. I really like that, but I counted. I have 17 pages that I bookmarked from the things that popped up that I need to go back and look at. That was a lot of really great resources. Thanks.
The most exciting thing was trying to figure out what the most exciting thing was, because there's a lot of material that I see very possible uses for. One thing isn't going to work for me.
I'm always looking for more project-based type things to do with my students, so I really appreciated what Laura shared. That's going to come in very handy.
There looks to be some other really good stuff on that site too, because my biology kids are getting into genetics very soon, and there's several genetics and viruses and mutation stuff that I'm going to check out because it also uses that data component.
I also appreciate Laura's thing on constellations and the distances of stars, and then the Helio viewer too, putting that all together with the aurora and the magnetometer and all that.
I really liked Chris's demonstration of the magnet and the can. It makes me remember why science is cool and magic.
Yeah, I had my mentor as a science teacher was all about take them back to the phenomenon, take them back to the phenomenon, take them back to the phenomenon, and that was just right there. It was just, I could hear Michael saying that, that's what, it's the curiosity that gets us, and then we want to explain. So I agree. I really loved getting to see those things in action. I appreciated all the richness, the diversity of resources that we shared today, yet all kind of go towards that. One thing we didn't look at was the Helio concept maps and talk about where a lot of this fits in and how you can, I'm sorry, there's a bug. looking at how we can, where are these right places to teach this, and where, how do these tie into those standards, and so on and so forth. So I do urge you to look at the Helio concept maps that I attached to the agenda. And, there's some great work. Many of the people in our community help put those together, and many of the teachers that are here, and they're very, very valuable. So if you aren't sure when you should bring some of these things, look at those concept maps. It will tell you when, and then it won't only tell you when to do it, it'll tell you where to go next. And so that it all becomes really cohesive and you can use these really practical things. But the richness and diversity of resources that were shared today was just, it makes me miss teaching so much. Lindsay, I like your idea about the making the wavelength list. I've already kind of started one between what Berkeley has and what we have, and then but to add the outside resources to it. I don't know if all of you are familiar with the list building feature in Wavelength. It can be a lifesaver as a teacher and very, very handy for some of the things that you're doing. So we'll get that done and be able to use it as an opportunity to learn more about how to do that.
Andy,
So,
I just got an idea. I don't know if you can hear me. About how we could make it wouldn't be integrated in Wavelength, but maybe we can link the Helio maps to that list of resources and sort of have a visual of, like the strand maps are in Wavelength, but it would be for the Helio maps. We could just do that like in PowerPoint or something. It might be fun.
I think that would be a lot of fun. Maybe you and I can work on that together. That'd be excellent. That was kind of what I had envisioned, like kind of scaling out today, and just, like making a skeleton of to be able to do. So that, I think that would be really helpful for a lot of people, or at least I would find it helpful. So what's something that has changed or shifted for you today? Maybe it was, a belief or an idea that you had that's changed for you over the course of the day today.
Well, I was feeling sad that I wasn't a classroom teacher, but I found a lot of really great projects that I could do for the summer camps, the days that there's PIR days and they're looking for things at the museum here. So I got excited about all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'll be very blunt and honest. That's me. And I wasn't looking forward to this at all. And I'm really glad I showed up, because it definitely reinvigorated some of the things, what other people are doing, how I can use it. It has definitely made a improvement, not in my attitude, but in what I'm going to teach also. So to me, it was definitely worthwhile the time.
Fantastic. Yes, and thank you for your honesty, Vic, that we don't want anything but. And I'd be sad to find out you hadn't been honest with us.
I'm going to look into the 5 E's. Are they E's? I don't even know what letter.
Yep, I am going to look for the link right now while you're talking, Tasha, and I also have an article that I can send you. I'll post on the Wikio about using the 5 E's in the classroom.
And I'm going to find that book right away. I can get online in National Science Teacher Association. So that's where I'm going. I'm going to have my arguments backed up at my next teacher meeting. We've got to include all kinds of stuff. Yes.
Anybody else have something that shifted for them today? Well, then what's something that has challenged you today, besides showing up all day on a Sunday? What's something that's challenged you today?
I am outside my comfort zone. And it's hard for me to come to forums like this, but I know it's something I need to do. So I think the day is a challenge, but I'm happy and will continue to do so.
Well, you're in luck because the Tuesday meetings, Tasha, are only an hour and a half, so much more manageable than an all day piece. And this is cut down. Last time it was 2 days that we did this, so we were only able to fit in 1 day this time. So, anybody else challenged by anything?
My next challenge is to get into all those bookmarks that I saved and to follow through with all that and see what I can glean out of that.
Yes, it's always a challenge to remember to find the time to go back and do that extra digging to be able to pull out the relevant pieces again. A small challenge indeed.
I'm laughing because I'm sitting here sorting through my bookmarks, trying to find the 1 to the 5e thing, the other 5e things that I have bookmarked, so that I can easily finding them, in 300 bookmarks. So, because there's so much information out there. Great. What on here? What did we discuss today that you would like to discuss more about? There's been so much, and I know there's been a couple things that I've highlighted in our chat discussions. That we've been recording about making sure, if you want to talk more about that, we definitely can. But what are some other topics that you, or subjects or activities or anything that you've seen today that you would like to discuss more in a future meeting?
Again, I'm interested in anything that I can directly apply to my classes. So as far as I'm concerned, the possibilities are endless as long as they're centered around science.
I'm looking forward to the MMS going up in March and to get a little bit more information on that so that I'll be comfortable with it before it goes up so people could do a class and whatnot.
Excellent. And Laura, I'll post on the Wikio the link to Troy's MMS group as well. He has the MMS Magnetic Cafe. So it's a Wikio group that is where he's posting all of his resources and information as it leads up to the launch. And I'm sure that's something that anybody can join. It's literally just a Wikio page that has the resources and discussion going on about the MMS launch and mission. So I know he would be excited to have any of you join that group and be part of that vibrant conversation.
I really liked the lessons and the program that Jennifer presented, Jennifer Taylor. And just, it would be nice to know if anyone else, it would be nice to collaborate on working on some of those. So I guess at the Wikio site, I could see who else is interested and just kind of see how it goes to work through those kinds of activities.
Yep, and in the folder section on the Wikio is an SDO folder that has all that Jennifer presented to us, as well as if you go to the YouTube channel, you can see the section that she presented to the group when she presented all those materials. And absolutely, anytime you have a question or something to offer, put it in the feed, and we can all have a conversation about it and support each other around that. I'm just catching up on the chat. Yes, Lindsay and I are both in Chicago. We would love to see all of you. So anybody that's coming, we would love to be able to get together, and we should definitely have, if you're coming to NSTA, definitely should see if we can all get together and have kind of an informal meetup for sure. It's exciting to see all of you, the people who are going to be presenting. So that would be, yay, good. Yes, Lindsay and I will totally take charge of that. I'd offer my place to stay, but I will live in North Chicago, and you would be an hour train ride from where you need to go. So it might not be convenient, but you're welcome to my couch if you need it. Lindsay lives much closer. You should stay at her house.
It depends on if small.
Don't you love how I just invited everybody to your house?
Laura, I love your idea of the
Laura,
mentoring component.
I'm sorry, Claire, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that Lindsay was speaking. I was just saying I love the idea of Laura's mentoring suggestion for new members of the community as they come in, to just help them get oriented and find the resources and things like that.
Absolutely agreed. I think that's amazing.
It's maybe something we should have a conversation about and see how that might work.
I think it could be pretty easy. If you wouldn't have to be anything super formal. It could be, you know, I'm willing to help. Here's one person or two people that have questions and need help, and you just meet with them on the side. Or I don't think it would have to be anything too complex. I guess it could become complex, but it shouldn't be too
Try and
bad.
keep it easy to begin with, though.
Yeah.
Is that something that you'd be interested in helping out with then?
Yeah, I've done it long enough that I've done it with kids for a decade now. I think I could help somebody else out in many situations.
And Wendy is volunteering as well. Is there anybody else who might be interested in helping out our new members to get oriented with all the different resources and how the flow of the community works? I won't put you on the spot, but if it is something that you're interested in, you know, you can just post in the chat or to Wigio or email Andy or myself, and we can include you in the list. It would be really helpful to have a few different people that we could turn to.
And it's definitely something, you know, I can, at one of our monthly meetings, I can present kind of like the materials that we send out and the conversation that we have. And you know, usually I try to find a time to meet up with people, or Claire does, or Dawn does, or Nancy does. And so that, you know, it'd be very easy to kind of go, here are the things that we do. And it'd be wonderful to have, you know, as we get more members, it'd be wonderful to have all of you who've been doing this and are enthusiastic about it, because you're going to be able to talk about it much better than we are. So we would love that kind of help. So Claire had a great question in here, in the chat here about, was it how, you know, do we feel like it was a good balance between, you know, the people from the NASA community presenting and people from the community presenting? Would you like to see, you know, more or less of something, or different something? As far as sharing resources?
I felt like when I'm coming to present, or I would like to share, and I wonder, is there a format to, like, something where we could easily know where to go for lessons or readings? I think that, like, something about module, I'm seeing module in people's presentations. Like, is there a basic structure that is user-friendly for teachers? I put a PowerPoint up, but I think that's not user-friendly. Like some format where we see what is being taught and then we can quickly know where to go for the source.
So are you asking, is there a basic format that we use for presenting? Is that what I hear you, or that, or in general for other things?
Like when Claire is presenting, it makes sense that she has a PowerPoint, like the information can be more complex, and I'm probably not going to use that for my class, or maybe. But when teachers present to other teachers, is there some way that could be more uniform, perhaps, that we can know where to go to get this or that from each other's work, I guess? Like something that's more consistent when we do want to share, and then when we do want to get that information again.
So we do that in several, and we would love your feedback on that. So how, and I know that you're really new to this, so yes, people use different types of feedback, but so the chat's been going on all the time over here, and we actually copy that into the notes that go onto the Widgio, right into the agenda. They're made available to you. And like today, we've had so many resource links that I'll be pulling those out and posting them in another document so that you can just have them right there. We ask that when people make slide presentations, or if they have a kit of some sort or resources that they're sharing, we ask that they post them to the Wikio, and so that they're right in the folder for you to be able to find. And then we try really hard to go in and kind of sort the information out. It needs to be weeded a little bit again. So right now, that's how we do that. That may need to change. It'd be lovely to have your feedback as far as, but the Wikio, because it archives everything, it's a really great holding place for many of those things to go so that you can have access to them. And then what Ricky does is that on the YouTube channel, when he segments stuff out, you can go to the notes section of the YouTube channel, and he puts the links, right? When somebody talks about them, you can click on the link and go right to wherever their resource is. Does that make sense? So you're right, it's like, it seems cumbersome as we're doing it right now, but when the archived pieces come together, the resources are really highly available to you and very easy to find, or at least we try. There's probably ways we could do it better. Chris, I agree. It is hard to work, and that's why if you go to the folders section, you will have a much easier time, because if you go through the feeds, it'll take you. But anytime you post a document, a link, anything, it goes right automatically to the folder section. You don't have to post it both places. And then every month I try to go through and kind of organize them into either mission specific things or meeting specific things. I try to make it sound really a lot of sense. And if you think something else needs to go somewhere else, please put it there. I have no problem with that. And definitely could use help organizing it. But yes, the feed is very cumbersome to use to find, locate articles. They go straight to the folders. You don't even you can bypass the feed section. The discussions don't. It's just if links are, like if you go to the folder section right now, you will see everything that we've posted already. It just listed right in the folder section. So then like later on, Vic made a folder for the videos. I will put all the links to the videos that we made on HelioViewer in that folder. It'll say HelioViewer links, and you can go right to that folder and click on Laura's movie or Claire's movie or whatever else. So yeah, that function that's great that you don't even have to cross post. It just goes right into that folder. It's a mess right now because we posted a lot in the last few days. So it looks a little bit like the junk room before vacation, where you shove it all before you leave. So I'll try to, the next couple days, try to go through and sort it a little bit and make it make more sense, clean it up. So does that help, Tasha? Did that answer your question about the uniformity and how to get a hold of those resources? Because it does come at us fast in these meetings. I agree.
Right. Yes, I'm looking now. I haven't been able to, I didn't really know how to use the folder before, but now I'll get in there.
Super. And like I said in your welcome letter, I am really happy to meet with you and go through all of these things with you so that it isn't overwhelming, so that you can have a kind of a personal tour. You've done a really great job of hitting the ground running and just jumping in with both feet. So, but we could definitely hook you up with one of these great community members or one of us coordinators would be glad to walk you through it all as well. Hello, Laura's son. He's getting so big, Laura.
He has to make a presence to critique our work. Make sure we're doing a good job.
Always good to be kept on.
And say hi to Vic. He needs to wave at Vic. There you go. See, the world's a happy place now.
Simple pleasures. How did the format of today's meeting work? Today, like we really, last time we had 2 days, and we've looked at, we always have so much to share. We've looked at having bigger days, using one of those days as an orientation day for new members. Do we need a half a day and have more of them? How do you feel about what we chose to do today? Looks like Santa.
Last time we did activities, which was really cool, but I really enjoyed the sharing from all the different teachers.
And specifically, what do you think about the benefit of having one of these like dedicated half-day meetings as well as, instead of, on top of the monthly hour-and-a-half meetings? Do you think they have a different purpose? Do you think they're just as beneficial? Could we have done what we did today in 2 or 3 hour-and-a-half meetings? Do you have an opinion on the balance between the two of those?
What, like maybe doing one of these quarterly?
Something like, we're trying to get a gauge of what works for people and what's beneficial. And if it's a hassle, I know that I won't put you on the spot, Vic, but Vic did say that he wasn't really looking forward to today. So we want to make sure that what we're doing is beneficial to everybody and that you're getting something out of it. So if rather than giving up half of your Sunday, we could do this over a few regular Tuesdays, or if having this intense period all together where we can kind of get our teeth into these things is really great, and then you go away excited to buy things, and we want to keep that up too. We're just trying to get a pulse on what works the best for everybody and for the community as a whole.
This is well done, well organized. Too many meetings like this, I know in my teaching schedule right now, this was a lot of time to dedicate. It was worth it. But if you have too many of these, I know somebody who might start missing a few of them simply because of time. But it was definitely worth the time. So what I'm trying to say is this was a valuable amount of time, but too many of them too often, I may, I look at it as I may not show up to them. And I would be terrible because I do miss good things. But the shorter meetings once a month have been very good. And a meeting like this every once in a while would be good. But be careful so we don't end up with too many meetings.
Okay. That's good. Good feedback. Does anybody think differently than that? That's pretty much what we're trying to aim for right now, where we have our regular monthly meeting, and then once a year or twice a year we sort of interrupt our regular schedule with a longer thing like this. Okay.
That would work fine for me. Too many, and I can't juggle it with all the other meetings and things that I've got to do.
And is one day better than 2 days then, in that view, where expecting you to give up a whole weekend is a bit much?
Depends on the time of year, but sometimes it would be really hard to do 2 days in a row.
Okay.
Part of the reason why we did one day now was just because it is in the middle. It's easier to do 2 days when you're in the summer. I mean, not magic, but it's summer at least affords you a little bit more time to be able to dedicate it, more than 1 day or 2 half days or whatever. Whereas during the school year, we knew that 1 weekend day rather than was going to probably be about all any of us could handle. So Lynn, are you saying just a half day once or twice a year period? Or would you like doing the meeting monthly in between as well?
I like the monthly meeting, but a 2-day thing like this is tough. If we can break it up a couple times the year for a half a day, that would be nice.
Any other feedback that you want to give us about your experience today, or anything, any last thoughts or closing remarks?
You guys did a great job. I'm glad that I did do this. Thank you so much. The resources today were phenomenal.
Thanks, Lynn. Happy to be of service. That's what we're here for.
And you guys have been a great service and a great resource.
It's a concerted effort. I don't know that any one of us could do it on our own. It's really great to have so many great people to work with. I just want to express my appreciation again for all of you out of the community that have shared. It is much fun as we have coming up with things to share with you. It's really exciting for us and so rich to see what everybody is doing and the good work that goes on and what is available to everybody. So I really, really appreciate those of you who not only shared how you've used the resources that have been offered to you through this community, but also the new resources that you are wanting to share with each other. So thank you for taking the time to do that. It really made it feel very community oriented, that this was all an effort together. Well, we are at 5:01 or 1 minute past the hour where I am. So that's 6 on the East Coast. And Vic, that makes it 1 o'clock your time? Is that about right? 2 o'clock your time. Okay. So you still have some day left. But we want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules and making it such a wonderful thing. And thank you for being part of our community. Tasha, thank you for jumping in with both feet and joining us. As you can see, they're an amazing group of people, and you've only got to see part of all of who are in this community. Do know that you are welcome to bring members at any time if you have other people that want to join us. And I know that we look forward to seeing you all every month and when we get to. So thanks for making it another great year. And it is truly something that I look forward to it very much every month to get to see all of you. And I always walk away feeling very excited about good things are being done in the world of science teaching. So my gratitude to all of you and to my coordinator colleagues, especially Ricky, who was my right-hand guy through all of this, and to Claire and Nancy and Don, who provide weekly support, and it is truly a collaborative effort. So I appreciate having such good colleagues who care so much about this community and want it to be a good thing. So I appreciate the work that they put into it as well. And thanks for Lindsay for showing up. I know that I know what a worker you've been, but it was great that you could be with us today in person, and we hope to see more of you as time goes on. So, yay, there she is. All right, then. I'm sorry, what, Lindsay? We can't hear you. You're muted.
For dinner.
I was just saying that I've been turning off my camera because I have a 3-year-old beauty assistant who's been putting stickers on my nails and doing my hair. So.
Oh, you're muted again. Thank you, Ms. Zara. Well, I'm going to take a screenshot while we're all sitting here. So I'm going to give us just a second. Let me get the thing all set up, and then we can all say 3, and we're all going to wave. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, awesome. Now we have our screenshot. I'll share that on the video. Ricky, I'm going to ask you if you want to stop the recording, you so can, but don't shut it off until I get the rest of the chat copied. For the rest of you, I hope you